Hi, my name is Ciara MacDonald, and you are so welcome to this 60-minute workshop where together we're going to begin the process of dismantling the good girl. The first thing I want to say to you is thank you. Thank you for choosing yourself, because as a reformed good girl myself, I know from the very bones of me that we good girls are so great at looking after everyone else, but when it comes to putting time aside to do our own good work, to do some personal healing work on ourselves, we tend to avoid it. We can run screaming. So by you choosing to be here today, and by you choosing to begin the work of dismantling the paradigm of the good girl within your system, you've already taken the first step towards freedom. You've already begun the process. By saying yes, you began the journey. And so I'm so grateful to you for doing that. And also I'm so grateful to you for resonating with me and for choosing to embark upon this journey together. Welcome. Welcome to Dismantling the Good Girl, for women who are ready to stop performing and start remembering. 60 minutes, you will meet the pattern that has been quietly running your life. You're going to meet the personality of the good girl who lives within your system. You're going to get to know her. You're going to dialogue with her, and you're going to find out what she needs in order to step back from running your life, to step back from being the boss of your being, so that you can step into your true power, so that you can step into your true essence, and so that you can begin the process of becoming exactly who you were always meant to be. The idea of this work isn't to fix a problem. Absolutely not. It's not about shaming the parts of you that have stepped forward to look after you up until now. It's about seeing clearly how these patterns take root. It's about seeing clearly about why you act the way you act, why these patterns, these personality traits, these ways of being have been present in your life for so long. And once you can see them, once you can understand why they're here in the first place, the process of unfurling has already begun. It changes everything. It offers a path towards freedom that you've never had the opportunity to have before. And it begins a new version of you. And it is such a joyful time to be beginning this work, because if you have already decided that you want to, then the rest is easy. We live often in a state of resistance because we're so scared of facing our shadows and facing our pain that it stops us from becoming who we were always meant to be. And you're already here. So that's 9/10 of the work. 9/10 of the work is already done. Today we're going to move through a teaching portion at the beginning of the session where I'll outline 3 archetypal sort of personalities that live under the umbrella of the good girl. We look at why they exist, what their purpose is, how they kind of show up, and what we can do to make them feel safe enough to step back. Because that's the crucial part here. We want to create space in our system so that our true power can become the boss, so that our true power can run the show, and so that we can speak from our own authority in absolute truth of our being. In the second half of the work, we're going to go on a somatic journey. We'll be traveling inside the internal landscape of the body, because I'm sure you've heard the phrase, the body keeps the score, but the body is the most intelligent part of our journey here on earth. It shows us everything. It's our traffic light system. It is our protector. It's our fighter. It's our lover. And if we can get to know what parts of our bodies are showing up in this good girl personality, in this good girl paradigm, in this good girl archetype, then we again have another path to freedom. It's all about information gathering, and then we manage to put together a system and a roadmap and a way forward in a way that suits us individually, because each journey, each life is an individual life. This isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of situation. This is about recognizing which part of us we just don't want to be running the show anymore, and then asking her what she needs, and then activating that inside us. So If you haven't worked with me before, I'll just tell you a little bit about myself and about how I work so that that might make you feel a little bit more comfortable. My name is Ciara. I'm an intuitive and a channeler, and I'm also a somatic practitioner. I work with women with the intention and the mission to help walk them home to the truest version of themselves. It's my absolute honour to work with hundreds of women, helping them to find the path to their own true essence. It's not about becoming the biggest player on the stage. To me, it's about learning how to exist in the world in a way that is rooted in joy, in a way that is rooted in truth, in a way that we can act from our own essence in a way that isn't kind of impacting people negatively, but also is feeling really, really good and strong and powerful for us. My work is rooted in connecting to our higher selves and our teams in spirit energetically, but also seeding that into the body consciousness, because one of my most important parts of my work is about rooting things into the here and now. It's all very well wanting to be a magical creature, and of course we all are magical creatures, but we're magical creatures that have to do life. We have to make the dinner. We have to look after our families. We have to go to work. We have lots of obligations. And so my work is steeped in weaving the esoterical, weaving the body consciousness, and weaving the internal healing into everyday life. Also, I am probably the quintessential good girl. I spent my whole life people pleasing. I spent my whole life changing and ducking and diving to become the person that I thought that people wanted me to be. I was the one that everybody needed, and I was really, really good at it. I could be indispensable in a heartbeat. And one day I realised that I was so good at making everyone else feel good that everyone around me, everyone I was interacting with, from my personal circle through to my working circle, they were all thriving. It was like I was standing in a garden of blooming flowers, but I was withering because I was completely burnt out. I was so tired. I was so tired of performing. I was so tired of overgiving, and I was so tired of making myself small in order to make other people feel big. It took me so long to notice because it was a way of being for me. It was a way of surviving for me. And I'm really compassionate about that part of myself. I give myself a lot of grace because I don't think that we are perfect. I don't think anybody is. And so anytime I uncover a new kind of story within myself, I really celebrate it. And I invite you to do that too as we embark on this journey together, as we begin the process of investigating what it is underneath the surface that has brought you to where you are. And the thing about it is that these journeys aren't dark and twisty. They're actually really exciting. It's like building a storybook that you never knew existed about yourself. It's about getting to know yourself in a way that you mightn't ever have had the chance to before. And that is really exciting. So that's who I am. And that's how I work. What I would like to do before we really begin is to set some intentional space together, to create a vortex of healing together so that we can create a field that is going to transmute stuff that we're releasing today, but also contain our new systems and make us feel safe and loved. So if you want to close your eyes and just soften into your body for a moment, just welcome yourself to this place, welcome yourself to this workshop, welcome yourself to this space with you and me working together to weave a new chapter of your life, new chapters of your life. So close your eyes, place your hand on your heart, and just allow your body to soften. Feel the support underneath your bum. Feel the support underneath your legs, and allow everything to get soft. Allow everything to just become juicy. And just offer yourself some compassion and gratitude for being here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for choosing to say yes to yourself. And as you just notice the feelings in your body, you might feel excited, you might feel some anticipation, you might feel like your body's relaxing as I speak. Just feel a level of containment that's descending into the energetic space now as we create a temple of healing, as we create a temple of containment for us to do this good work together. We're imagining a big crystal temple now descending from the walls, floors, ceilings of the spaces that we're in. It's huge and it's white and it's bright. Oh, it is delicious. And this space, this pyramid, is creating a healing space for us to do this work. Meaning that we are completely safe, completely protected. Meaning that all the work that we do here together is seeding the flowers of your new life. We're here. We're here. Yeah. And feel into the support of this container, feel into the energetic support of this container as we create a container of just gentle, loving support. Oh, it feels so nice. So, so nice. So, as we allow these beautiful feelings to wash over us, I just want to tell you a little bit about the good girl. So, the good girl is an identity. She's a mask, she's a personality that you built in order to survive. She's amazing. She has changed and shifted and grown with you. She has looked after you and protected you and minded you. She's made sure that you are shielded from any potential hurt or any potential pain. She has learned what was needed in the moment and then she became it. So your good girl isn't a flaw. She's not this terrible thing. She's one of the cleverest, most intelligent things that you have ever created. She is a masterpiece. And I really encourage you to see that about her. I really encourage you to see that the good girl part of you is so magnificent because she has kind of formed in so many different guises over the course of your life with the sole purpose of looking after you, with the sole purpose of protecting and loving you. And that is just such a wonderful thing, isn't it? So, what does it mean to be a good girl? What does it look like when you're a good girl? So, these are things that are really common, okay? You find yourself saying yes when your whole body says no. Oh, that's me. You smooth over conflict before it can even surface. You feel conflict in a room. All of your cells, they all start hopping up and down. Oh my God, there's conflict. And so you go into the space of, I need to calm, I need to soothe, I need to smooth, because a good girl will avoid conflict at all costs. She just doesn't want to be a part of it. She's horrified. So smooth, smooth, smooth. The good girl gives and she gives and she gives and she gives and she gives, and then she's absolutely exhausted. She is wrecked. And then what does she do? She feels guilty for being tired. She gives out to herself for being tired. The idea of rest to the good girl is failure. The idea of rest to the good girl is admitting defeat in a fight of her life. She just will resist it all. When really inside, in the deepest parts of her, what she would love to do is lie like a sloth, eating grapes, just having a really nice time. But then her adrenaline kicks in and she can't do it anymore. The really key thing about the good girl is that she's forgotten what she actually wants. It's been so long since she asked herself, what do I actually want? Do I even enjoy this? I make this thing for dinner every week. Do I like it? She has become so people pleasery. She's become so adept at managing everyone else's expectations that she's completely forgotten what she likes. She's completely forgotten what she loves. She's completely forgotten what it feels like to request and command something for herself. And that's one of the most common traits of the good girl. So, the good girl has about a million different faces, but my favorite way to kind of categorize her is into three. So to me, she wears three key faces, and most of us are aware and have inhabited all of them at one time or another. These are not boxes that you need to squeeze yourself inside and own all of them. They're patterns and personalities to recognize. They're archetypes that you might align with. And as we move through them, I invite you to notice which one of them feels most like you. Or do you feel like you hopscotch between all of them? Or do you feel like you could take some of one and some of another and cherry pick and create your own? Play with this idea. Just sit in the feeling of who these women are and feel whether they apply to you. So the first archetype I'd like to investigate is the peacemaker. This is the good girl who will avoid a fight at all costs. This is the good girl who, rather than state her opinion within a crowd of people, she'll sit on the sidelines and observe. This is the peacemaker who has turned peacemaking into currency in relationships, meaning that people will come and dump all their problems on her and she will offer sage advice, and that will mean that she won't have to be vulnerable herself, because what happens is the channel is one-sided. And this is a common thing with all good girls, by the way. Our channel tends to be one-sided. Like, I give and I give and I give, I listen and I listen and I listen, but I don't receive, and I certainly don't open myself up to my most vulnerable side. The peacemaker is the most obvious and outright version of this, because she is completely lopsided when it comes to the balance of giving and receiving. She's obsessed with giving. She's obsessed with keeping things neutral. She's obsessed with keeping herself slightly dimmed in order to avoid rocking the boat. And so if she has an opinion that she feels will be received in a negative way, she'll most likely avoid sharing it in the first place. Our next archetype is the chameleon. Now, the chameleon is the shapeshifter. She's the wiggly one. She's the one that everybody loves to be around because she gives them exactly what they need. She can shift and groove and move and change and shift into exactly what a person needs. And she is such a good woman for reading the room. When she walks into a room, she can feel exactly what's going on, and she can intuit exactly what needs to be done from her in order to maintain or shift that kind of energetics in a room. Her core belief is, if I become what you need, then you'll stay. The kind of common thing from all of our archetypes is that fear keeps us small. When we're a good girl, the seeds of fear are rooted so deeply in us that we sometimes don't even know that they're there. A lot of the times that we don't know they're there. Each archetype has seeds rooted in fear of not being loved, not being seen, and being left, really being left on our own. And the chameleon's greatest fear is being left on her own. The chameleon's greatest fear is being abandoned by her family and by her loved ones. And a chameleon's greatest fear is about having love rescinded, relationship rescinded. So the chameleon will more often than not stay surface level. She'll be the joy of the show, but of the gathering, and she'll flit from person to person. But when it comes to deep connections, she finds it very, very hard to place her trust in one or more than one person, because she feels very vulnerable then, and she really, really doesn't like feeling vulnerable. The final archetype that we're going to look at today is the caretaker. The caretaker is a really common archetype that comes up in us good girls. We are the women that give and give and give and give and give. The image I always have of the caretaker is the woman who's very, very busy walking down the street and she has shopping bags. She's carrying about 10 shopping bags and someone asks her, can they help? And she will not receive, she just won't allow help because she's afraid if she hands over one bag, everything will topple and everything will fall out of the bags. The caretaker's currency is in being needed, and so she will hold on to that so tight. She's terrified of letting go of her role as the carer, because if that happens, then who even is she? What's her point? What's her purpose? And why would anyone love her? So her belief system is rooted in the idea of, if I take care of everyone, then I'll be needed. So it's a deep need to be needed. And then that gives a sense of purpose. Caretakers often have this misconstrued idea of a sense of service. The sense of service is generally rooted in an idea of a lack of self-worth, of needing to be seen, to be looking after everyone so that they can feel nurtured, so that they can feel like the nurturers, and so that everybody sees them as an essential part of the ecosystem of the family or the community. These archetypes loosely are all pointing towards the same kind of woman. And I'm not sure if this is something that you resonate with or whether it's something that you feel can apply to you. But the good girl shows up in times when it's not safe to be here. That's not to say that every good girl has had this super traumatic experience, that their childhood has been full of abuse, or that, you know, terrible, awful things have happened to her. Good girl shielding arrives early in life. It comes when we feel like we're not enough. It comes when we feel like we're not good enough, like we're not worthy enough, we're not fabulous enough, we're not good looking enough, we're not talented enough, we're not intelligent enough. It can happen in sibling relationships, it can happen in parent-child relationships, it can happen in school. It's kind of like shielding. I see it always as the good girls have been on the battlefield for a very long time and they're wearing metal heavy shielding, and this shielding is protecting their tender, gentle, sensitive hearts from ever being hurt. Okay, the good girl is one of the most extra sensitive personality types out there. We feel everything so deeply. And usually if we've been hurt in the early days, if we've experienced pain in the early days, we will never want to experience it again. So what do? We build a structure that will prevent anyone from getting in there. And our structure is really complex because our structure, the walls that we've built up, look like we are givers, look like we are lovers, look like we are so in the mix with everyone, but actually our hearts have big locks, big padlocks on them. And that's because we just are so afraid that if someone sees our tender underbelly, that we'll get hurt, or that we won't be accepted, or they won't see us for who we are and think that we're the magnificent beings that we are. So we kind of keep it under lock and key, and we build these structures, this sheet. If you've been able to identify yourself in any of the three archetypes, I celebrate you. I celebrate where you've come from. I celebrate where you are now. I celebrate your ability to look yourself in the scaldy eye. I celebrate it all. It's not easy to look at these parts of ourselves and to own them. It's not easy to see the bits of ourselves that are a little bit squeaky and a little bit uncomfortable and be able to say, okay, I can own that. Yeah, I can see that part. I can see that part in me. The fact that you're here means that you're ready to move. The fact that you're here means that you're ready to shift. And so this is just such a wonderful time for you. It's such a great way to shed some skin and to become lighter in yourself. And that's what we're going to do now in the next phase of the workshop. That's what we're going to do now as we move into a somatic journey where we're going to travel into our internal landscape. where we're going to go on a kind of meditation journey, and I'm going to bring you into a beautiful temple. You're going to meet your good girl. You're going to have a conversation, and it is going to be stunning. So take a minute. You can pause the video, make yourself comfy and cozy, find a place to lie down, maybe adjust pillows, grab a blanket, light a candle, whatever it is that works for you. And just allow your body to soften into the space. Allow your body to gently unfurl onto the bed or the couch or the floor or the chair. And maybe gently soften your gaze or close your eyes. Maybe allow your mouth to drop open and just begin to pay attention to the breath. Begin to welcome yourself home to the body. Begin to welcome yourself home to who you are, where you've been, where you're going. As your breath naturally begins to slow, you can invite it to deepen. And now might feel like a good time to place your hand on your belly, maybe another hand on your heart, and welcome your body to this practice. Welcome your body home. Welcome your spirit home. Welcome your heart home. And as you breathe, bring your awareness to the top of your head. Noticing how you're feeling. Noticing if your mind is racing. Noticing if your brain feels sluggish or slow. Imagine a huge waterfall of golden light descending from the highest point of creation now. This light is crystal clear, gold and warm as it hits the crown of your head, moving into your forehead, softening and unfurling as it goes, and moving down with the face into the sinus cavities and all the areas, bones and muscles of your face that hold so much tension. Allowing this area that works so hard for you to soften. And as you do so, feeling your brain go, ah, with relief. All is calm. And now this golden light is traveling down your throat, dripping into your throat like warm honey, moving across your shoulders, softening, calming, soothing as it goes. Down one arm into the fingertips and down the other arm into the fingertips. As this light travels, your body literally melts into relaxation. The golden light is moving now into your chest, filling up your chest with beautiful, soothing, warm, golden light. Into your heart. As it moves into your heart space, your heart expands 6 feet in all directions, creating a sphere of protection that is just for you. As you lay suspended in the middle of this sphere of golden energy, the golden waterfall continues to undulate down into your abdomen, crisscrossing across the pelvis, your bowl of creation, the source of your power as a woman, filling it up so that it overflows out of your pelvis into each leg, moving in and out of all of the muscles and sinews of your legs and into your feet, all of the bones of your feet, all the way down to your tippy toes. And as it fills your feet with golden, warm light, huge threads move into the earth, tunneling down into a crystal cave held at the heart of Mother Earth. And as it reaches Mother Earth's heart, she responds with unconditional love. A white and pink light begins to weave its way up through the earth, right up through your channel, filling your entire body with a column of golden, unconditional love. And her love moves all the way up and up and up and out of the crown of your head, all the way up to the highest point of creation. And when it reaches there, it marries with your soul signature's energy, moving in a figure eight, weaving its way down in a spiral pattern so that there is continuous flow of cleaning and clearing, of divine energy moving through your channel now. You are so safe and protected here in this space with me now. I invite you now to bring your attention to your heart space, placing your hand in your heart, asking your heart to open. And as it does, it begins petal by petal to open, like the most beautiful cosmic flower. Notice the colours and shape and type of flower that is appearing to you now. Notice how you feel as you observe your heart showing itself to you in its truest expression. Notice any messages that you're receiving into your being, either by sensation or feeling, or just an internal knowingness. These messages from your heart to you. And as you become transfixed by the unfurling of these incredibly beautiful petals, you find yourself staring into the center of the flower. And as you stare, a path becomes clear. It's a path that is paved in crystals. Notice whether the crystals are different colors or whether they're one color, whether the crystals are a particular crystal that you recognize. Maybe you're looking at quartz, maybe you're looking at citrine, maybe you're looking at a particular crystal that you work with on a daily basis. It's a yellow brick road, but it's made of crystals. Wow. And so it feels really good to take an imaginary step onto this road. And as you pad step by step along the winding crystal path, it becomes really apparent to you that as you take each step, you are becoming closer and closer to a crystal doorway that stands at the edge of this path. As you approach the doorway, you notice that there's a really ornate doorknob just sparkling and begging to be touched. So you reach out and touch it. As your hand meets the doorknob, it swings open and a mist of mystical proportions appears in front of you. You walk through the mist and suddenly find yourself in the middle of a huge pyramid of light. This pyramid is made of clear crystal. It feels as though you have stepped into a space of the deepest divinity. It feels palpable, this divinity. And you know that you're here for something important. As you step into the temple, it becomes very apparent by feeling the vibration of the space that you're in, that this is a really high vibes place, guys. There's good work to be done here. And so you step in, and as you do, you look up, and as you look through the apex of the pyramid, you see a night sky where 1,000,000 different stars are lighting up the sky in a show just for you. And down below, it seems as though the sun is shining the brightest it ever has, heating the floor and shining beautiful sunlight all the way in. The result is exquisite. It's as though you've stepped into a masterpiece. Walk towards the center of the temple now, where you'll see 2 large, comfy armchairs. Take a seat in the one that feels most attractive to you now. And as you sit down, notice that there's a reflection of you sitting in the other seat. She smiles, her eyes full of love and compassion. And as she looks into your eyes, you have this deep soul recognition that this is your good girl. This is the being that is your good girl. She is here and she is so happy to welcome you. As you take a deep breath, your heart opens to her and boom, it's as though you are flooded with unconditional love. As you allow her energy and yours to merge, feel all of the love that she has for you. Feel how much she wants to take care of you. Feel her purpose and her feeling of joy and happiness that you're here together now. It feels like a really good time for you to stare into each other's eyes, to hold hands with each other, and to open up a channel of communication. You can speak to her either through words or feelings, images or sensations. But the questions I invite you to focus on are, why are you here? Why are you here? Allow the words or the feelings or sensations to wash over you. Noticing how your body's reacting in this space. Now ask her, what is your purpose in my life? Now ask her, what does she need in order to retire for a while and let another part of you take charge? How does she feel about that? And now you can ask any questions you need. You can ask her to show you memories. You can ask her to give you some advice. You can ask her about your hopes and your dreams. You can ask her to be part of your team going forward. Spend a few minutes now spending time with your good girl. Get to know her likes and her dislikes, her fears and her dreams. It feels like a really good time now to take her hand and to ask her, is she ready to let go, ready to take a rest, ready to let you run the show for a while? Look into her eyes and see how tired she is. Mm-hmm. See how exhausted she is. And you can tell her that you're ready. You can tell her, you've got this. I've got this. I'd like to invite you now to work with the prayer called the Ho'oponopono, which is a Hawaiian prayer for forgiveness. So imagine yourself looking into your good girl's eyes now, holding her hands, your heart's connected, and repeat after me either out loud or inside. We're going to do this 3 times. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. As you open your eyes to her beauty and her grace and her big heart, as you feel into all of her experiences taking care of you, find yourself filled with compassion, find yourself filled with gratitude, find yourself filled with love for this masterful protector who's looked after you for so many years. As she gets up, knowing it's time for her to take her leave, give her one last hug, and she begins to walk slowly towards the other side of the temple where a doorway has appeared for her. With one last wave, she disappears through it, off for her big sleep that she so deserves. Before you take your leave of this temple, I invite you to stand in the centre, staring up at the apex of the pyramid, allowing yourself to take note of how your energetic body is feeling. Feel into the energy currents now running through you and notice how different you feel. Notice how empowered you feel. Notice how ready you feel to step into your power. You are ready, sister. And so stand up and begin to walk towards the door where you came in. As you walk through the door, you find yourself nestled in the middle of the flowers that represent your heart space and back into your body. And as you land slowly, slowly back into your body, place a hand on your heart as you wiggle your fingers and your toes, welcoming yourself back home to the body, home to the space where you're doing this beautiful work, home to today. And gently flutter your eyes open, gently fluttering yourself home to yourself. Slowly, slowly orient yourself to the room and space where we began. And before you come fully out of the journey, I'd like to invite you to spend a few moments thinking about the information that you gleaned during that journey. The questions I invite you to ask are, what message did your good girl have for you? What does she want to say to you? What did she need in order to feel safe enough to retire? What did she need? And what has she protected you from for all of these years? What a woman. If you have a journal or a piece of paper and a pen nearby, it might feel good for you to jot down these thoughts while you're still in the process. You can integrate them later and just take a moment to breathe into your body, full of grace and gratitude. I want you to have an awareness of the space that exists in your body now, the space that exists in your body for you to step forward now, for the divine flicker that is you to become a big burning fire, for you to begin to take control of your life. Those patterns don't exist in your body anymore. Those versions don't exist in your body anymore. Because you're free. So as you gently bring yourself back here now to this space, I just want to congratulate you, because meeting your good girl is the first act of your freedom quest. Meeting, recognizing, loving, having compassion for your good girl is the first step in you claiming your truth. This isn't about making all the changes all at once. Isn't about exploding yourself into like some universe of just dust. It's about slow and steady process. Today you met her. Today she signed the dotted line to go into retirement. Today you know that if she comes back again, which she probably will, you'll recognize her. And today you began a dialogue with her where she is not running the show anymore. It's a co-creation. So if your good girl shows up in the future, from now on, it's a conversation. She's not the boss. You're co-bosses until you say otherwise. From now on, it's you, your soul, your truth, your power that's running the show. And she's happy because she's tired, man. She's so tired. This is a case of once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you meet her, you can't unmeet her. She's part of your landscape now. She's part of your relationship now. And she's separate to you now because you have separated you from her. You've given her space to breathe and you space to breathe. And so the invitation around your good girl now is to see her as a member of your team of guides. Allow her to offer her wisdom, but don't allow her to boss you around. You're the captain of the ship now. It's time for you to put your big girl's knickers on, missus. And so, as we come to the end of this beautiful time together, I want to say thank you to you for being vulnerable with yourself, for diving deep into this journey, for getting dark and dirty and twisty, for going all the way up to the Crystal Temple, for looking at which archetypal personalities you align with, for chucking what didn't resonate in the bin, for owning your power. My God, you're amazing. I want to say thank you to you for that. And I also want to say that this is just the beginning of a beautiful journey. And if you want to continue your journey working with me, you can. There's lots of different ways. You can work with me on a one-to-one basis. You can come and work with me in groups, or you can be part of my community, Eveness Cree, which is all about stepping into the joy of life. For now, I just want to say to you that the spark of light that exists within you, it's right in there, and it's not just a spark anymore, it's a big flame. That's your soul's essence, and it is ready to shine. It's ready to shine, and you are ready to shine, and I can't wait to see it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for doing this work. Thank you for being part of the circle. I'm saying this with all the love in my heart. Goodbye, good girl.